Chapter 21, Conversations between Manu and Kardama. Today we have to do text 48 and 49 because I think 48 has a small purport and 49 doesn't have one, so that's how we're going to do it, yeah? So we'll all do Mangal Charan. Welcome, Madhuri. Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yaina Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vangsha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patithanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevayat Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Text 48. Atotajam upayatam Nidevam paratam puran Nidevam pranatam puram Sparyaya Saparyagrinat Pratinandyanurupaya Atotajam upayatam Nrideva pranatam pura Saparyaya paryagrinat Pratinandyanurupaya. Vaishnavas. Atotajam upayatam Nridevam pranatam pura Saparyaya paryagrinat Pratinandyanurupaya. Athotajam upayatam Nridevam pranatam pura Saparyaya paryagrinat Pratinandyanurupaya. All right, word for word. Ataha, then, utajam, the hermitage, upayatam, approached, nridevam, the monarch, pranatam, bowed down, puraha, in front, saparyaya, with honor, paryagrinat, received him, pratinandya, greeting him, anurupaya, befitting the king's position. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charnavrind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Seeing that the monarch had come to his hermitage and was bowing before him, the sage greeted him with benediction and received him with due honor. Purport. Emperor Swayambhuva Manu not only approached the cottage of dried leaves possessed by the hermit Kardama, but also offered respectful obeisances unto him. Similarly, it was the duty of the hermit to offer blessings to kings who used to approach his hermitage in the jungle. Text 49. Grihitarhanam asinam samyatam prinayan muni smaran bhagavata desham ityaha slakshnaya gira. After receiving the sage's attention, the king sat down and was silent. Recalling the instructions of the Lord, Kardama then spoke to the king as follows, delighting him with his sweet accents. So now we are seeing how guests are received and dealt with in the Vedic times. This is a very sweet way of dealing. We'll see there is a very urgent scene that we see in Krishna book, in Canto 10 of Srimad Bhagavatam, when Rukmini, she sends a Brahman with a message for the king. When I say for the king means Krishna. At that time he was in the Dwaraka, so acting like a king. So for Krishna, she sends an urgent message and she says, "Oh my dear Krishna, this is time of great peril. I am going to be married to your enemy Sishupha, and I cannot live with this desire, right? With this thing happening. Therefore, if you do not arrive, right, on the day of my marriage, then I will kill myself in front of everybody." So it's great peril, urgent message. All right, she sends the Brahmana off. The Brahmana walks, reaches Dwaraka. Right, sometime a bit of a walk, reaches Dwaraka, and then when he comes to Dwaraka, Krishna receives him. He first washes his feet, gives him nice clothes, makes him comfortable, gives him prasadam. This is an urgent situation. This is urgent. Right? Gives him prasadam, feeds him nicely, asks him how he's doing, how is the kingdom that he's staying in doing. All of these questions are asked. And finally, when the Brahmana is well settled, Krishna asks him, so my dear Brahmana, what is the reason of your visit? Yes? And today, first the bell will ring. We'll pick the phone up, right, in our rooms. Yes? Delivery. Ah, okay. Then we'll let buzz people in. Yeah? Now we want to know why you are here. Why are you here? Why you came to my house? I was asking my wife the other day. One devotee came to the house. I'm like, why she came? So my wife is asking, why? Devotees can't come to the house? I said, no, that is right. Devotees can come to the house. Yes. Yes, of course they can. Of course. But still I'm thinking, but why? Still, aggrieved. Why? Why you arrived? So this is, modern. This is Shudra mentality. Shudra mentality, the word Shudra means distressed. You know what the word actually Shudra means? Shudra means always distressed. Distressed. So this is Kaler Shudra Sambhava. Anyone born in Kali Yuga has Shudra mentality. We are all distressed. Why you came, Prabhu? Not that you're jovial. Usually it says when a devotee comes to your house, you become jovial. We become stressed. Oh, so many people came. He said, prasadam. Why you came at 1 o'clock instead of 12 o'clock? I told you to come at 12. So much. We were in Prabhu's house. Sucharu Prabhu, he got a baby girl. Yesterday, I think. Yesterday he got a baby girl. Congratulations to him. So Sucharu Prabhu had invited a lot of devotees to his house to give prasadam. So he told, you will come at 1 o'clock because, house, two-bedder house. It's not very big, right? So, you have a lot of devotees have to come in and out. So he says, you are 2 o'clock batch, you are 3 o'clock batch. But everyone is haphazard in coming. So he's like, okay, what to do now? So you adjust. But then, because we have very limited space, so we're not eager to meet. And this goes back to the principle of, the Akasha, that the idea that we must have a lot of space. Even if you're a poor Brahmana, poor hermitage, it's not like the hermitages were right next to each other. Like nowadays if you go shopping, all the jewelry shops are in one line. Just next to each other. Or like, the markets will be all together in one side. Everyone is jammed up. If you go to the mall, they spread it out a bit. If you go to the mall, that's how they design them. You'll have Kohl's on one side, Aldi on one side. You'll have, so they understand this idea that the more there is space, the more people feel intrigued to buy. Actually, there is a genuine science. This is Vedic science. That there's more there is space, the more. But now if there is all jewelry shop, you'll get confused. You'll come, okay, which one to go to? Right? So, and then you don't even browse. You're like, okay, I've been to this guy. My father went to this shop. My grandfather went to this shop. I go to this shop. He knows my whole family. He knows, your kundali. yes, your grandfather bought this 5 generations ago. They bought this same jewelry. Right? So that's how it works. But actually, if it's spread out, then you browse more. And then you get to see more variety. Yeah, you understand it? So this idea of there should be space. So it's not like this hermitage, one hermitage and second hermitage and third, they're all squashed up next to each other. All Brahmanas are sitting outside. And the king is thinking, okay, who should I visit? No. Kardama Muni had his hermitage, a little bit distance away, another person had his hermitage. And when we sing hermitage, they're all thatched, like mud thatched. They make with their own hands, mud thatched. And they're keeping it, so beautiful. Srila Prabhupada writes, right? Let's read this again. So nice. Emperor Swayambhuva Manu not only approached the cottage of dried leaves. So just dried leaves, not even clean. Right? When autumn comes, here in Australia, how many leaves fall? Right? When you're walking, my son, he starts kicking, on the floor. So many dried leaves. No, he's kicking the floor, the dried leaves are flying. That's how much dried leaves. That's the situation here. So many dried leaves have fallen, foliage. Right? And he's sitting. But he has space so he can welcome the king and his entourage. So please don't think that when king comes, only king is coming. Entourage is there. Now, entourage may not come in front of you, but they are there. The entourage is, they may be some distance away, but they are there. The king is never sent alone. Right? Whenever, if someone ever tells you the king is coming, please understand at least 100, 200 people are going to show up. Now, whether you have the capacity to deal with 100, 200 is a different conversation. But that's the quantity of people that are going to come. Right? Minimum. Even if a minister comes, minister will have him, his driver, his 2 bodyguards. Right? And depending on the portfolio of the minister, there might be more of them. So even, small people come. This is what you will expect few people to show up. Yes? So here, Kardama Muni doesn't have much. Right? He doesn't have much. He's a simple Brahmana. And that also he's meditating. So, usually you will have different categories of people, right? So you have, let's say, sadhu. We use the term sadhu a lot. What is sadhu? Sadhu is one who is doing sadhana. You are all sadhus. I am also sadhu. I'm also sadhu. We are all sadhus. Why? We are doing sadhana. We are trying. When we are failing, no denying that, we are failing. But you are trying. So you are a sadhu. You are trying sadhana, right? Then you become Santa. Santa is who? One who has achieved his sadhana. Anta. He has achieved the goal. He has come to the conclusion. He is Santa. Right? Santaha sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti. So he is Santa. Then you have Rishis. Who are Rishis? Rishis are people who live in the forest. They just live in the forest. That's the whole time. They're just living in the forest. They're living their lives. And then you have Munis. Munis are philosophers. Right? They're great philosophers. Right? They come up with ideas. Most of your that Saddarshana schools are run by Munis. The Saddarshana school will be started off by Munis because they're philosophers, right? They'll come up with a philosophy that you want to live by. You get it? So these are Munis. Now Kardama, he's a Rishi and a Muni, both. He's both, right? Because he's not only a Rishi, he's also a philosopher. So he's both together, right? But mainly he's a Rishi. You will notice Kardama Muni will always be loitering around in the forest. Right? Just for 1,000 years, he just steps aside, back in the forest again. Right? So mainly he's a Rishi. Mainly Rishi. Right? And so this is his life. He lives in the forest. And forest has a lot of space. Right? Now, I don't know if you'll read Bhagavatam and the Puranas, you will notice that the kings would always try to make pathways in forests. Why? Because if, the forest is also crumbled, like together, the trees are just next to each other, then you cannot enjoy the forest. A dense forest cannot be enjoyed. Dense. Right? It has to be a forest that has pathway. That is an enjoyable forest. If it's like, a bamboo grove, it's hard to enjoy a bamboo grove. You can't get in. I don't know if you've seen bamboo sticks. They're like, you can barely see through. You can barely just see through. If a jungle is like that, you're in trouble. If you get lost in a jungle like that, very hard chance that you're getting out. Very hard chance. Jungle, if it's a bit more open, has pathways, very enjoyable. I don't know if you've been to Domain. Right? You've seen Domain? You feel so nice there. Right? It feels so nice. Open space, trees. You feel nice in that place. Right? So this is the type of lifestyle we are discussing. More space. And then, we use the term natural, but nobody knows what natural means. Natural living. What does it mean, natural living? They're thinking, okay, I'll go vegan. I won't use plastic. No, natural living means to live in a space. You need to have more space. That's natural living. When you have more space, you will naturally stop destroying the earth. Are you getting? Naturally, you will stop destroying the earth. But if you are all crumbled up together, of course you will destroy the earth. Right? This idea that we will all be squeezed up, we will all live on top of each other. Floor 1, floor 2, floor 3. Everyone is sitting on top of each other's head. As it is, we have Shudra Bhava. Now people are sitting on top of you. Imagine how much more distressed we get. You can't even imagine the level of distress we are discussing here. It's very distressful. Right? For us, with our bhava. So now here, the Kardama Muni, although a simple hermitage, living in a simple hermitage, although he's not having much wealth, but he has space. So he's able to welcome the king. Right? He's able to welcome the king and the queen. So here now, Swayambhuva Manu, what is his position? It is very beautiful word used here, right? Nridevam in the Sanskrit. Nice name, right? Nridevam. Meaning what? That he is the monarch, right? Of the Nris. Right? Of the humans. He is the Devam. He is the monarch. He is the king. Nridevam. Beautiful word. Sanskrit word. So this defines a king. A king is considered to be a Deva. What does that mean? That he has very good qualities. Now, how is a king's good quality created? How is it created? They are sent to Gurukul. And they are asked to be, sleep on the floor. The king's son is asked, sleep on the floor. Go out and beg for your guru. And he's going. He's not going on and say, I'm the king, I'm the king's son, I demand taxes. No, begging, Bhiksham Dehi, Sharanam Dehi, like going out, Madhukari, like literally begging. And, up to the villages whether they want to give or not give. Good mood you will give. Not in a good mood you won't give. Right? And it's not like they were living in the city. They're living in the outskirts. So that means those people also don't have much. They're giving little. So everyone come home. Whatever is collected, that's what gets cooked. Right? So this is a hard life. And they live this life for 10, 12 years. Like long time. Right? He says, Brahmana's son would join Gurukul at the age of 5. Kshatriya's sons usually at the age of 8. And Vaishya's children were usually at the age of 11. Shudra kids never joined Gurukul because the idea was they were only interested in making money. Well, if you're only interested in making money, you don't really need to go to school. Let's be very clear here. You don't need to go to school for that. Just pick a skill up. You pick a kid up, just teach him coding from a young age. He'll be ready. He'll be sorted. By the time he's 15, 16, he'll be able to build apps. Just a blink of an eye, he'll be able to build stuff. You don't need to go to school for that. Right? How many of you are working? And then look back about what you studied. Integration, derivation, speed of light. What do you do in office? Say, hi sir, comma, enter. I would like to inform you. Writing an email. Most of your life is stuck in Outlook. Most of your life is about communicating. How many classes were there about communication? 0. Amazing, isn't it? Isn't it amazing? 0. It's amazing, isn't it? See, what you have to learn, no one taught. No, whatever you had, no one taught. We are having this mid-year review. If you work in offices, you get mid-year reviews and end-of-year reviews. So now we are in the mid-year review, financial year, right? December is coming, mid-year reviews are coming. So discussion is there. And so it's very nice and interesting, a graduate made this point. He was saying that, I don't know how I'm doing in my work. Why? Because when I was in school, I used to get high distinction, so I knew I was good. Are you getting it? I got high distinction, HD. So I knew I was good. But here in office, you can't figure it out. Yes, no one taught us these skills. All we were taught was study hard, be good, you'll do well. No, but in life, that doesn't work. So the Shudras were like, oh, I'm only interested in money. Oh, you're interested in money? Then you don't need to. What's the point of studying all these Shastra? You want to make money? Make money. Yeah? So this is your atypical structure, right? And so the idea was that the idea of going to Gurukul was that the person becomes humble in understanding the pains and pangs of this material manifestation. Right? We hear the story of, Buddha. This is a nice story. Prince Siddhartha, not king, sorry. Prince Siddhartha. Right? Son is born. King is very happy, only son. very happy king. He's very happy. Yeah, finally my kingdom has a child. Right? He calls the astrologer. Astrologer says, yes. Very, very strong future, this boy. He'll be a great renunciate. He says, huh? What do you mean? Renunciate. One son. Kingdom. What renunciate? Can you imagine? Do you understand now what greed means? You understand what greed means? Greed is not that it should be for me. It should always be me or mine. That is greed. Mamata. Either ahankar, me, or mamata, it should be mine. Right? My sons, my daughters, my wives, my brothers. You see, mine. Not just me, mine. So the king is, shocked. He's like, he'll become renunciate, but my kingdom? Who will take it? Not that I am happy that I am a millionaire. No, but I have to give my millions to mine. So are you understanding this idea? This is an amazing idea, right? So anyway, the king is perturbed. He's like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to remove all things that are related to bad. Anything bad that happens. So what are the 4 bad things that happen? Janma. I don't know how many of you have had the pleasure of being. I went to the birth room for my first child. I didn't go for my second one. But the first one was such an extraordinary experience. I was like, in my lifetime, I don't want to come back to this material manifestation. I don't want. Now I can understand when Shankaracharya says, Punarapi Janma, Punarapi Marana. Right? These 2 are bad. Being born again, dying again. But what is worse? What is worse? Punarapi Janani Jatre Sehna. But now I have to go back in the womb again. That's the worst. Are you getting it? Punarapi Janma, Punarapi. Bad, worse. What's worse than that? Punarapi Janani Jatre Sehna. I got to go back in the womb again. I had to go back in a sack and tightened up. In a sack again. Right? This is intelligent person. He can recognize the problem. So he says, Janma is a problem. No births will happen in the city. Death is a problem. Mrityu. No death will happen in the city. Jara. Old age. No old people will be kept in the city. Vyadhi. Diseased person. No diseased person will be in this city. What a fired up position the king takes. And the prince can never leave the city. So, okay. Prince grew his life up. Luxurious, beautiful boy, Siddhartha. Kingly, prince. Only ever saw youthful people. Right? Just anyone got a little old, out of the city. Not to show up here again. Right? And he lived his life. Then one day he decides with his, I forget his advisor, he goes, he says, let's get out of the city today. Prince disguises himself, gets out. Right? Our father says, what? Out. Space. Everybody wants space. Right? Well, children will tell you, hey dad, hey mom, give me some space. So everyone understands this concept of space. Right? So he steps out. And then as he's stepping out, what he sees? He sees a woman giving birth. He's shocked. He's like, my dear, what is this? He says, this is the pangs of birth. He's like, pangs of birth? He's going. He's an intelligent boy, right? He's observing. He's like, what is this? He's going ahead. He says, he sees a man dying. He says, what is this? I don't know if any one of you have seen someone die. I have had the pleasure of seeing someone die. It was in the hospital emergency. And not because I went to see it. My friend was hospitalized, so I'm sitting there. He's dehydrated, fully fainted, on a drip. I'm, sitting there with him. Suddenly someone, the doors flip open, emergency, boom. One, comes in and, one guy is there. And I heard him take his last breath. Dying. King Siddhartha saw, Prince Siddhartha saw. He said, what is this? He says, these are pangs of death. Pangs of death? Goes ahead. He says, what is this ugly person? He says, this is old man. He says, what is old man? He says, after some youth, old age will come. He's like, what? Everybody looks like this. He says, everyone will look like this. Then he goes ahead. He says, what is this? He says, this is a diseased man, leper, diseased man. He says, what is disease? He says that, eventually, body gets attacked by disease. Now, when Prince Siddhartha sees these four things, he's like, hey man, I'm out of this place. What's this all kingly stuff, dressed up like this crazy person? I'm out of this place. This is intelligent person. So, the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas and the Vaishyas, they were taught the pangs of life. Why? So they can become great kings. They can become great businessmen. Not that, the OPEC has decided to reduce the amount of petrol production. So I'm going to bump up the price of petrol so people will suffer more. And I'll make money. This was not Vaishya. Understood that, situation is bad, profit is good, but right now we need to give things for free. Vaishya understood this. Businessman understood this. Ask a businessman to do this right now. Do you know what they will tell you? You will be amazed at the answer you will hear. Our shareholders. Who are we talking about? Who are these shareholders that don't want the profit to drop? Who are we talking about? Who are these mysterious people? Shareholders. Isn't it nice, isn't it? Do you understand how beautiful Brahmavad and Mayavad philosophy is? You don't need to point at anyone. Our shareholders. Like God. Who are we talking about? Krishna. Be specific. Who are we talking about? Our shareholders. And so now prices are shooting up. I don't know if you go to Kohl's now, you would have seen it in your bills now. Your bills are, before what would cost now, $90 is now costing $150. You would notice this variance. Very easily you will notice this variance. People who are paying notice. Child doesn't notice anything. He says, I want 2 chips. The chip is double the price now. The child doesn't, he's not paying. The one who's paying can notice the difference. Right? So the idea here is that the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas and the Vaishyas, they knew the pangs of life. So they knew how to deal when the situation goes bad. They knew how to deal with it. Right? So the Kshatriya was taught nicely. So here, when the king is coming to the, Kardama Muni's ashram, he's not thinking, I don't know, did you see Prince Charles when he's becoming king? They had a lot of videos of him, the pen is leaking. I hate this stupid pen. He's aggravated by the pen. Now, of course, people are, laughing, screaming. But, for a person who has every part of his life ordered, disorder, causes commotion. It does. It does. So there's nothing wrong. But the idea here is that you will notice that you will find them to be picky about small things. But the king is not like that. A real king is not like that. A real king understands what the situation is. He understands, I am now in the ashram of a rishi. Yes, there is a lot of foliage. That's how it is. Not that, come servants, broom the floor off. The king has arrived. No. Walking on the foliage. Right? This is key. And now, Swayambhuva Manu is not a common Manu. He's a Prajapati and a Manu. Right? So, the hierarchy is Brahma, Prajapatis, Manus, then the demigods. This is the hierarchy. Right? This is the hierarchy. This is a atypical hierarchy. Right? That is why when Daksha is called, the demigods for, the yagyas, they arrive. They arrive. Because in hierarchy, he is up there. He's up. Right? They all arrive when he calls. Right? In hierarchy, he's up there. This is coming. This canto 4, it's coming. Right? He's right up there. So back up here is that Swayambhuva Manu is a Prajapati, is a Manu. So big personality. Bigger than that, he's Vishnu Tattva. So that is the highest position. He's Vishnu Tattva. He is the the ability of maintaining and propagating this manifestation. He is that principle of Krishna. Right? So, big personality. The Vishnu Tattva, right? Direct Krishna, right? He's a Prajapati and he's a Manu. But he behaves very nicely. So this, when Shastra tells us, you must behave nicely. Right? It is not telling because you are the lowly one. Oh, I need to behave. But Krishna, does he behave? Look at him. He's got his garland and jewelry. Look at him. Why I should behave? I also want my garland and my garland and my jewelry. I also want. Right? So, we feel aggrieved. But those qualities that are being asked, that be nice, deal nicely with others, Krishna is behaving exactly like that. So these behaviors are verbatim coming from Krishna. So Krishna is not asking you to behave in a different manner. No, he's saying, please behave like this. So now the king is arrived in the ashram. Kardama Muni is sitting, he is meditating. He is seeing that the king has arrived. He is welcoming the king. Now, same situation. Right? Shamika Muni is sitting. Same situation. Shamika Muni is sitting, he is meditating. Okay? He is his ashram also has foliage. Same thing, nothing different. King arrives. How does he behave? He's like, I was meditating. I did not realize the king was there. Right? This is somebody who is disconnected from the manifestation. This is atypical Brahmavad. Disconnected from the manifestation. So doesn't know how to behave properly. One may criticize Parikshit Maharaj and say, oh, why did Parikshit Maharaj put the dead snake around the Muni? Because he did not behave properly. That's why. So please understand this. That's why. That is why when Shringi curses Parikshit, the Brahman race falls down. Because the Brahmana did not understand what was the right thing. And that the right thing happened. Right? Of course, you say this and you're like, oh, no, you should not behave like this, bad Parikshit. No, he actually did it. This is how to receive a king. This is how, he's Nridevam. This is how to receive a king. Not that I was busy meditating. I didn't see you, man. Didn't see you. I had my headphones on, Didn't see you, man. Right? No, not like that. You should be aware of what is going on around you. Right? So this is how to deal. See, you'll start seeing this, these comparisons across Bhagavatam, how somebody deals the right way and they get the right result. How somebody deals in not a right way doesn't get the right result. Are you noticing? The same thing. This is the beauty of Bhagavatam. You get to see all of this. Now, here Kardama Muni sees, he welcomes the king. Now, do you think Kardama Muni has physical, he does have, but immediate physical assets to welcome a king? Immediate physical assets. No, he doesn't. So, what does he do? He gives blessings. Ashirvada. Right? And the idea of giving blessings is that when the Rishi is giving blessings, right, those blessings will manifest for you. They do manifest for you. And this is hard to accept that, just somebody says blessings and they get manifest. It's hard to accept this. When I was a kid, I would, wake up in the morning, touch my parents' feet. Right? This was just, nobody had to tell you this. Right? No one had to tell you this. My 2 kids are there. Right? Never they will touch. Never. Not even once. Are you understanding? This is change of culture. Right? Why? Now you may say, okay, why did you do it? Well, because your parents told you. Yes, but there was an understanding that, okay, their blessings will work for me. Their blessings will work for me. But now the newer generation, no, my parents are always blessing me. What is the need? Correct, right? Will any parent not bless? No, but also, they're always. So, Krishna is always blessing. So, why don't come to temple? But Krishna is everywhere. Krishna always blessing. So, come to the temple, Baba. We know, we understand. Come to the temple, do dandavats. Yes, he is blessing. Yes, who said he is not? But enter the room, please. Enter. So this idea, right? So you will start recognizing this cultural shift. But this idea that you must do namashkriya, you must offer obeisances, and then you get ashirvada, right? That this must occur. And then there is glorification of Krishna, vastu nirdeshu, right? This is mangala charana, this is auspiciousness. This causes, so this conversation here will be very auspicious. And that's why this entire chapter is dedicated to this conversation. Because this is auspicious. This is how a conversation should take place. Right? Usually us. Prabhu. Yes. I wanted to talk to you. Nowadays in India, they'll drive in a cycle. Prabhu, please accept my pranams. Right? So before, people would go and touch the feet, right? Now they're in the cycle. Hey, accept my pranams. Hand is up. Feet is down. Right? Please accept my pranams. And you're like, okay. From distance, right? Because it's far off. So this is funny. The situation has changed. But this is how we are. All of us, I just want to make this point. All of us are like this today. Don't think that this is only me. Or no, every one of us is like this today. But the actual way of dealing, Bhagavatam explains. Amazing, isn't it? How it explains so beautifully. Right, so this is the way to deal nicely. And if you deal nicely, you will get a nice result. But all of us are struggling with this behavior. We are all struggling with this. Oh, I need to bow down. I don't bow down to anyone. Right? You should see how Facebook, Twitter, news media, everybody, you are it. You are it. No, you are nobody. Bhagavatam begins with this idea that you are a nobody. I was listening to a very interesting conversation and they were talking about a few things. Like, today modern wokeism. This is a very interesting point that this modern wokeism, they are talking about a bunch of things. One, they are talking about, how, one should understand what their gender is. One should understand what their orientation is. Right? But how does Bhagavatam begin? From a young age, what do you teach the child? You are not the body. You are not the body. You are not the body. Oh, okay. You have a body. Now deal with it. But you are not the body. Okay. So you see, what a beautiful way, right? Here they're talking about, no, people have multiple personality, people are disassociated. Yeah, because you are not the body. That's why. No, actually, I will open another psychology, school. You should go to, you should take more medicine. You're not the body. Right? This is basic. Then they're talking about, today violence. People are so much violence. My son was listening. He was very angry with the drama. We had a drama. He was saying, I don't like Kamsa, Dad. I said, why? He killed the baby. Kamsa, we had one drama, the Kamsa killed. He was telling me, I don't like it. He was telling a story of King Nriga. My son felt very bad. He says, why? Just because this is one cow, he had to become a lizard. My son felt very bad. He was talking for half an hour with me. What is this? You are taught these cultural clashes, these cultural ideas that bad things can happen. And these are children's stories. Do you understand? In Vedic time, these are children's stories. So Putana came and killed lot of young borns. These are children's stories. Right? I don't know if you remember when we were kids, Hansel and Gretel. The witch is boiling the children. Now, all those stories are taken out. Oh, no. Very violent stories. Very violent. What are you talking about? You're not the body. Now, you're not the body. When people think they are the body, they can do many terrible things with the body. Understand that. And you teach them from a young age. So, they are not so culturally shy, so shocked, so shell-shocked. Oh, what is happening in this world? What is normal things are happening in this world? What's the problem? Nuclear explosion, yeah? People can do that. Yes? Just for 50, 60 years ago, gas chambers were being run. Jews were by millions being put in to get killed. You may think how an entire society can do this. Yes, they can. What are you talking about? Yes, they can do this. Yes. Read Shastra. Yes, they can. They were doing it in Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga. You think in Kali Yuga they cannot do this? Somehow Kali Yuga has become pure, is it? In the previous yugas, if you can do this, 100% in Kali Yuga you can do this. This is, building tenacity. Right? So the idea of, as we are studying this, as we are observing the culture, we have to understand, this is to build our tenacity, our strength. Right? And this, by reading and observing this, we can realize, okay, I am not doing this. That is fine. Okay, I don't behave like this. Okay. But this is how to behave. So if there is a problem, I cannot come in front of Krishna and say, Krishna, why this happened to me? Did you behave like this? No? Then that's why it happened. If you behave like this, then you get a different result. But if you are Shamika Muni, I was doing my own meditation, then you get a dead snake around you. And then you are complaining, where is my, instead of getting a beautiful garland, I got dead snake? Krishna. Yes, you did. Because you behave like Shamika Muni. Are you getting? That's the idea of Bhagavata. And it's amazing. It's amazing to observe this. Because many times we go through our tribulations. Sometimes things are not sometimes. Material manifestation, sometimes we win. Most times we lose. So in the most of the times, we come to Krishna, and then we have to learn through Bhagavatam, okay, this is why it's happening. And then we have to keep reminding ourselves that I am getting everything that I deserve. Everything that I deserve. This is just the way it is. Right? So we will end here. So devotees want to share something in these two shlokas. It's a simple shloka, that it talks about nice culture. How the two are dealing so nicely with each other. A king, a monarch, a Nridevam, and a simple Muni living in a simple hermitage. Right? How nicely the two are. You will see this conversation is very nice. It's a very beautiful conversation. You will see how, the Muni will, Kardama Muni will, encourage the king. Why did you come here? I could have come and visit. It's very nice. It's going to be very nice. But everybody knows what they want. Both know what they want. See, this is the point. They both know what they want, but they will deal nicely with each other to come to the point of what they want. Yep. Both you know and I know what we want. Right? Why? How is that possible? Because Lord Vishnu already told Kardama Muni what's going to happen. So it's not like Kardama Muni is, oh, how did this happen? Smile, you're on candid camera. No. Surprise party. No. He knows what's going on. He knows clearly. But still, you deal nicely. Not like, okay, yes, you have arrived. All right, where's the daughter? Let's go, let's do this. No, nice. This is interesting. All right? These devotees want to share something? No? Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Go Premanande. Hari Hari Bo. Jai. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare